Hey, how y'all doing? I appreciate you joining me again for this video series. Um, so where I was, I guess to spare you going through all my childhood and stuff like that, because I don't really need. I mean, I could tie everything together, but I guess the next poignant moment would be like 2008. That was the fire. The fire was a day where my mind was destroyed. It was the fire because everything in my spirit burned. It was a terrible day. I won't go into the details of it, but that experience, it was so devastating that what you see behind me there, 45 feet of wall, that was my mind for several years after December 2008, because that's when the fire happened. It took me, because basically all the terrain features on my wall that you see, there's like 45 feet of wall, like 55,000 push pins, and it was just the way I was able to organize everything in my mind, or reorganize everything, because I couldn't use my mind. Everything was on fire. So I had my mind outside of my head for a while as I kind of rebuilt myself. Then, I never really recovered from it. Had too much stress in my life and not enough supports. But I just kind of mustered on until about I got to my the job at the post office, which was 3 years before I signed up. Or not I signed up, 3 years before I found the job I was talking about in this series. But the post office was a nightmare in its own way, because it was 6 to 7 days a week, 9 to 18-hour days, and I was good at my job, so I would finish my route quickly. I had 8 hours to finish my route. Sometimes I'd finish my route in 6 hours. And once I did, I'd have to stay and work other routes. So it didn't matter how good I was, it just meant more work for me. But I did it, I pushed through. And the rough part was, there was just one cat there. He was known to be a bully. He was, again, alpha male type, douchebag type. There was stories people tell me how he was sent out to help other carriers, and he would leave some of the females on the side of the road crying because he berated them for not being fast enough. Why are they waiting? Yada, yada. And everybody warned me. They're like, you're going to be his assistant or his sub. So, he's going to, come at you. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And I never had a problem because, I was good. Like from day one, I didn't suck. And he even said it. The first time he took me on there, I was like, yeah, you got a lot further than I thought you'd go. I'm like, okay, I'm a worker. But a few months down the road, it finally came to the head. It was his day off. And I came in, did route, ran the route, went home. Next day, they called me up, said, you need to come in. I'm like, cool, I'll take it. Extra hours, came in, run the route, went home. Called me in the third day. I come in the third day, the manager comes, he says, why don't you run the coupons? I'm like, what coupons? He's like, the coupons down there. That was the first time I've ever seen those things. I was still new at the job. I hadn't been trained on coupons yet, so I didn't know they were a thing. And it's like, oh, no, I didn't know they were there, so I'll take them. So I ran the coupons. It was good. I went home. And then a couple days later, it was like a Friday or something, I think. I'm sitting there casing a different route. And this fool comes up behind me, starts just yelling at me, saying, why didn't I do my job, blah, blah, blah. He lost 2 days' pay, yada, yada, because apparently he came into work those second 2 days, saw the coupons there, didn't want to run them and leave them. But neither he nor the postmaster or anyone told me to run them till the third day, and I ran them with no problem. I was like, I can't deal with something that I don't know about, you know what I mean? And I had that problem a lot with my last job. But after that, the dynamic changed, because he came at me. I stood up to him. He tried to act tough, but he didn't, because most people, really no one else in there would stand up to him. That's why he was running that place. And then, well, he wasn't running it, but he was just being a douchebag in general. And it came to a head because I started reporting him for the shit he was doing wrong. He was taking the LLV key, which is government property. He would take it home on the weekend so nobody could use it on Sunday to run Amazon, because he didn't want anybody running that vehicle. And it's like, that ain't your call, man. We need it. We have stuff we got to do. Not everybody has a vehicle that can operate. We need that vehicle. And then he stopped doing it for a while, and then one day it happened again. The story's more involved in this. But the key disappeared, and then the manager was like, well, if it happens again, we'll fire him. And I was like, boom, happened again. And then the key disappeared. And then management was like, oh, no, the key never disappeared. It was right here. But what they had actually done was take the backup key and place it for the regular key. And they didn't realize that I had to take a picture of the last key with the key number up in this guy's desk with a chit for leave on it. So it had his name signed on top of the picture. So it was serendipitous, but it was a great picture to take because it was hardcore proof. And then they started coming after me after that. Instead of taking care of the problem of this kid for harassing everyone, they started coming at me for exposing the problem. And then I filed a HR complaint. And then for a year, we went through this struggle where I was trying to, because they wouldn't pay me my training pay. Oh, yeah. It was $500 in training pay for my first 2 weeks I never got. And it's like the whole time. And it's like I would talk to the postmaster and she would say stuff, but she would never do anything. And I would keep refiling my paperwork and they keep treating me like I never filed it. But it kind of came to a head after a year because it went to EEO's, the complaint office, and we had a court date. And then I tried to do everything. I got like 12 people to sign up as witnesses. I tried to do as best I could, but I wasn't a lawyer. And then there was some paperwork I didn't fill out or something, whatever. But I just remember the judge chewed me out. And then he was like, I'm dismissing the case. And I'm like, you ain't going to hear anything? I mean, I had the evidence. I could prove that the postmaster had lied. I can prove they lied in their logbooks. Discovery. I forgot to ask for the logbooks and the keys, and just because I'm not a lawyer, don't know discovery. But I asked for it on the second day, and they're like, "No, you're supposed to ask for that yesterday." I'm like, "Bro, I didn't know. I'm not. You're a judge. You're a trained judge. She's a trained lawyer, the prosecutor against me, or defendant, whatever it was." It's like I'm just an average Joe, and this douchebag judge had the audacity to talk to me like I should know what the hell's going on. All I'm trying to do is expose a problem, but it just showed me that the system didn't care. The system had no compassion over what the actual postal workers were suffering needlessly from this one douchebag alpha male. And it was sad, disheartening to see that all that work that I put into it, trying to expose this, was just for nothing. But I mean, that's where I was. I was exhausted from that trip. And then I finally quit the job. I didn't even quit the proper way. I was supposed to resign and something like that. And they sent me letters I'm just done. I'm out. I don't care about your freaking stupid. You want to write a resignation letter for me? You can. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not getting anything from it. But that's where I was right before I found this job. I was busted up, exhausted, run to the ground. Because again, it was a hard job I was doing. There was one, because even running in the weather, there was one time when I was running mail, like no kidding, in an LLV, listening to the weather, hearing that there's a tornado a mile away from me, called the postmaster, and I'm like, yo, I got to come in. There's a tornado. She's like, no, keep going until you see it, I'm like, all right, whatever. So I kept running the mail. Tornado a mile away. I finished my route, though. But yeah, that's where I was. And then when I quit that job, it took me maybe like a month before I wandered into this card shop in Madison. And on the little bulletin board, there was a sign for a paint studio. And it was like hiring. And I'm like, man, I wish I could get hired to be a painter. And something in me just told me to pull a ticket. So I pulled one of the tickets. I called or messaged the number, called the number. I don't even remember. But that's when I was told to show up at this place, his studio in Madison. And that's right about where this story begins. Like, I guess we give you all the pre right there, but yeah, I think that's where we begin. And I guess the next video I'll start from there, and I'll tell you what happened there and how it kept going on. Again, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much, and I hope this is a little bit interesting for you, at the very least. Maybe not this episode, but the whole thing in general. Thank you. Have a great day.